You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
Right, Chris.
All right. Good afternoon, good evening, good day, good morning, good night, goodbye. Hello, wherever you are in the world. Welcome along. This is LTID TV from Leicester Till I Die. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching live, you're welcome. Stick your comments in the chat and we'll get through them as we go through the show. Or if you're listening via your favourite podcast platform, thank you very much for lending me your ears. How are you doing? Well, we're down to the quarterfinals, and unlike the Tories, England are still in with a 1 in 8 chance of winning it. Here we go. I've got my money on Lord Buckethead, but you know, this is why I'll never be a millionaire. Leicester, on the day that Leicester's news is that we have lost our appeal against the decision about over PSR. It all gets confusing. We are now appealing the appeal. Obviously, like I just said to my guest, the FA don't find Leicester very appealing. Somebody who is very appealing is my guest. We'll bring him in now. Straight after this, it's Doug. Good evening, Doug, or good late afternoon. How the devil are you?
Good evening. Yes. Good afternoon. Good evening. I'm very, very well. How are you doing?
I am doing fine. My jokes don't get any better the earlier on in the day we start, so I can't bring you any joy there. But I'm sure if you are a red part of the voting public today, you'll be very, very happy. Like I say, England's still in there with a chance somehow. We were just discussing then, weren't we, the sort of the round of last 16, which is sort of just completed. Overall, I think those that we expected to go through have got through. I suppose Italy was the biggest, and we'll come into each of the games individually, but I suppose Italy was the biggest surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously the holders. I think a lot of people kind of thought Italy would maybe, go through the group. Maybe not as comfortable as many people would have predicted. But I think we'll obviously get onto it. But I thought Italy throughout the tournament were dreadful, really, really poor.
Is there? I mean, we're going to, as the Sun so aptly put it today, we're probably going to have a new captain of the country tomorrow morning. Not a captain of the English football team, though. If he doesn't get to at least to the final on this side of the draw, then, look, I think he's going to go anyway. I think he's been there long enough. I think it's just a natural progression that, as well as he's done, and I've always defended him. Not that I think he's the best manager that I just think he deserves better than the complaints that have happened. But it's opened up for England. We're on the right side of the draw. There isn't a team on that side, barring possibly one, and we'll come on to sort of them later, that would probably harm us. There's no excuse if we don't get through to the final, is there?
No, absolutely not. It could not have fallen any kinder to England and Gareth Southgate. If you had finished second, then I think you would probably be already home. I don't think you would have beaten. I don't beaten Germany. And then obviously look at I mean look at this side of the draw. I mean you've got a repeat of two Euros finals. You've obviously got the repeat of the 2008 final between Spain and Germany, and you get 16 the equivalent of Portugal France. It is quite amazing.
It is the half of death, if you like, isn't it? Really.
Hey, I like that half of death.
But it's and for all those people that always say, "Oh, these things are fixed and it's fixed so that the host gets to the final," just look at this year's Euro. That draw is not fixed to give us the best final, because the best final on paper so far for the teams that I've seen, in my opinion, the best final would have been a Germany-Spanish final.
Yeah, 100%. I think out of the teams left, I think probably Spain, Holland. I think at the moment it's looking that's looking a bit ominous as well. But again, anything can happen in a knockout tie, and we're obviously going to find out what will happen obviously tomorrow and Saturday.
Yes, indeed. Like you say, it is the knockout stages that we've just started. I suppose we literally, what are we now? 3 matches away from immortality for Gareth and the squad. But let's go through. Let's not get I don't want to start singing "It's Coming Home" and all that, because we know it probably won't be. But look, you know what England are like. Once we get to a tournament, that's it. We're going to win it. Excuse me. But let's go through all of the matches from the round of last 16. And the first one up was Switzerland versus the holders. Obviously, they beat us on penalties last time out. Italy. Now, for me, we've said about Switzerland before, Doug, that whatever tournament they're in, they'll always get out of the group.
Yeah.
But then usually at the round of 16 stage, that's where they fall. They're just perennial. Yeah. We're here, we'll make up the one of the last 16, and then we'll go home and we know our place. It's been a case, I think, in these games that sometimes the team that's won hasn't always been good. It's quite often that the other team has just been bloody awful. And I would go as far as saying this was one of those games.
Yeah, 100%. I thought Switzerland were excellent in this game. Set up really, really well. Got the early goal through Freuler. I think that was a very, very good finish. And Italy just offered nothing up front. Nothing up front. I felt really sorry for Chiesa because I know he's coming back from like an injury, and I know he's not really a forward. But I think when you look at the Italian team, it is a transitional team because they have lost their spine in Bonucci and Chiellini, who were absolutely amazing at the back for Italy. I think their best player this Euros has been Donnarumma, because without him, I think Italy probably are not even in the round of 16. I said it the other night. Is it the worst Italian side you've ever seen? I mean, I remember the Italy team in 2010 that went out of a group of New Zealand, Slovakia, and Uruguay, I think it was, and actually Italy did actually go out of the group stage then as well. But take nothing away from Switzerland, no pushovers, and I think I read now. I think they're the lowest seeded team left in the Euros now. I think they're like 19th seeds, obviously in the FIFA rankings. I think.
Yes. Well,
Um,
they're actually not the lowest. They're the second lowest, but I believe. But we will come on to that. But look, yes, there you go. Just to back you up, 19th seeds, 19th in the FIFA rankings. Italy were 10th. I know what you're saying. They are going through a transitional period, but according to every single English fan, we're not allowed a transitional period. You know, somebody's retires from the game. The person that we put in, whoever that happens to be, should be playing, to the best of his, one of the best in the world. We know that's not true. But with the depth of talent that there is for Italian players, they shouldn't be suffering from a transitional period, really, should they?
No, definitely not. I think when you look at the manager as well, Spalletti hasn't had a good time of it recently. Obviously, coming into a job where Roberto Mancini did really well with Italy, obviously winning the last Euros. Obviously, he left, and then obviously Spalletti, came in as well. But I think if you look at Italy, I don't think they are the Italy of old. And as we said in sort of the predictions for like the group stages, I always had the feeling that Italy would be looking towards 2026. I think that's been said by a lot of people, but they just weren't good enough. And on the day, I think they only had their first shot on target. And I think the 76th minute, honestly they offered absolutely nothing. And I think as well, but
sorry, carry on.
I think as well, Barella getting injured in the first half didn't help because he obviously had to go off at one point as well. I think Switzerland stopped Italy from playing. I think they had a game plan, they executed it perfectly, and I just think Italy just didn't have the answers for Switzerland.
It's very thin line between saying that a team is awful without giving the opposition or the winning team the credit for not letting the losers be good, if you like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That Italian team, the holders, and all right, we know that they didn't go through to the World Cup because they got knocked out by the powerhouse that is, Macedonia. But, if you know, this Italian team, 11 shots all games, you can see there, 1 on target. Now, the 10th best team, according to FIFA, the holders, if that was Leicester in the Premier League, or even, let's say, Sheffield United last season, or one of the three that went down, Burnley, Luton, 1 shot in 90 minutes by professional footballers at Premier League level I'd be going mad. At this level, how do you justify it?
I don't know, but their strikers have never been there. I mean, the strikers that they've had, Raspadori, he's not been great. Scamacca has been a completely different player from the one we've seen at Atalanta, West Ham, etc. And they had to rely on a 90th minute equaliser against Croatia. They went behind very early on against Albania. That was obviously a record-breaking goal, 23 seconds, I think it was, or 27 seconds. But never in this competition did I ever think Italy looked like winning a game. Obviously, I know they did obviously beat Albania 2-1, but again, didn't look like scoring. And against Croatia, again, I think Croatia will kick themselves that they probably should have beaten Italy. And actually, if they had beaten Italy would have been out.
Yes. Let's have a look though at Switzerland. 16 shots. So that's 5 more than Italy, but at least they got 4 on target. Obviously, 2 of those, which is the main stat, were in the back of the net. I said, and I think you agreed with me before this, certainly for me as an England fan, I would sooner be playing Italy in the next round. I would have preferred Italy to have somehow scraped through this, because I think they were more beatable than Switzerland. And of course, we'd already played them twice in the qualifying group, so we kind of knew what to expect. I think we write off Switzerland at our peril.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people are having egg on their face right now, because I think if you look at Switzerland as a whole, I think a lot of people expected Switzerland maybe to struggle in this Euros. I don't think anyone expected them to get out of a group that obviously had Germany, Hungary, and Scotland. But fair play to them, and they are going to be a very, very tricky opponent on Saturday for England. So yeah, write them off at your peril. Is I think is the way to say there. Going to be a very, very interesting game for sure.
As we both did, putting them fourth in the group.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me. But so yeah, we're not exactly the best pundits. But again, I mean, if we just look at that game, and I do like my stats, but I am concentrating on these stats, the same stats for every game. Again, Italy, 12 touches in the opposition's box.
Yeah.
Literally almost half of Switzerland. And all right, the manager's keeping his job and what have you, which surprises me. I can remember when the Italians got knocked out of one competition, they were pelted with tomatoes, when they got off the plane. Maybe this time they would have left them in the tins. I don't know. But both of us predicted Switzerland, got off to a good start.
Yeah.
And like I say, I think it was deserved, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I think the right team won in that game, and look, I think as well, Switzerland played really, really well. Obviously, Vargas's goal was an absolute peach into the top corner. No keeper's going to save that. And Freuler running in from the running late from the midfield and managing to get a goal as well. I think Switzerland would be very, very happy with the result, but that could have easily been 3-4. Italy could have got a real pasting there if Switzerland had been more clinical.
Yes, they could have done. But there we go. That was the first game. Like I say, I would have preferred Switzerland to have got knocked out purely because of Italy. But that's going to be a tougher game for us. But we will come on to those later. As Nate says there, happy 4th of July to all our American friends, and also
Absolutely.
happy polling day to everybody in the United Kingdom.
It's not as good as Independence Day, Chris.
No. And the Americans should thank us, because by us having the election now, it does mean that Nigel Farage will be able to go over to America to aid Donald Trump. Maybe thank us is not the words I'm looking for. Right, the second game, Germany versus Denmark. Look, even though you got the Great Dane Yannick Vestergaard in the picture there, he couldn't stop Germany being Germany. I wonder about Germany, to be honest with you, because we always say, and I'm sorry to bring this up a bit, we always say they're slow starters. And then they get into the competition. Well, they haven't been this time, because they've gone off at a fair level. The first game, obviously, there was a lot of goals in. Let's just leave it at that. But they haven't disappointed. Let's say that they've been. All I can say as a compliment is they've been Germany.
Yeah, they've been excellent. I've been very, very impressed with them as well. This game, look, I'll be honest, I think it's on two decisions really. The handball. Look, I'll be here forever about VAR, but where are you supposed to put your hands? Yes. I mean, the ball's so close to Joachim Andersen. I feel sorry for Joachim Andersen. I don't know where he's supposed to put his hands. Are we going to now have a way of playing football that we're going to actually have players with their hands behind their back? It's just ludicrous.
And I felt sorry for Andersen, because he'd had a goal disallowed not that long before.
Yeah,
straight up the other end. And this is why, and I don't like to say, we know how we feel about VAR, but if we've got to have VAR, as I've said, put ex-professional players on there. Every country when Wayne Rooney stops being a manager, well, he already is. He's a pundit, But
Yeah.
you're going to have somebody from, let's say, Plymouth or somebody from Rochdale that will never be a pundit on the, on for any particular sort of sizable media outlet. But having been a player, they can watch that game and say, yeah, he couldn't get his hand out the way. Yeah. He would know as an ex-player whether that's, his hand's in an unreasonable position or not. That would be, in my mind, cut out so many of our problems straight away.
Yeah, 100%. I know letter by the law, and I know the referees are obviously doing that, but I thought that was a very, very harsh decision as well. But what I will say though, I think Michael Oliver did get one decision right, and it was the Germany disallowed goal. I think Kimmich knows what he's doing. He's clearly blocked off Schlotterbeck's Schlotterbeck's marker, and I think if that had obviously counted, then yeah, maybe we might have had a different game. But I think Michael Oliver got that right. I also think he got it right with taking the players off when obviously the lightning strikes.
Yes.
As well. But again,
the interesting thing though, like you say, I think I had to disagree because I had Craig on from the Bournemouth channel, and he was very much that Michael Oliver had a shit game, and yes, he could have overruled it, Michael Oliver, but the video referee in that instance was Polish.
Yeah.
Why Stuart Atwell wasn't the VAR, I don't know. Why there wasn't an English referee there being the VAR? Because in most games, whatever language the referee and the linesman are, the VAR is, because they've got a universal language then. Excuse me. Yeah. But some of that, if you're going to say that they were wrong decisions, surely some of it has to be down to the VAR referee.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the problem I have with obviously English refs, we know how bad that they are, but I think we're always going to sort of get controversy when when they're managing games. But unfortunately for me, I said it when I came on the other night there. Denmark have disappointed me big time. I don't think they've been anywhere near as good as what people think of them. And again, I feel really sorry for Rasmus Højlund because he didn't get the service that he was required. I know people have been, slagging him off on like social media, but where's the service to him as well? And look, I think in the end the right team won. But I think if Denmark's goal had stood the Joachim Andersen one, then I think we might be getting a different game.
Yeah. I mean, you can see there from the facts and figures, FIFA have put Germany at 16th. That is a false position, but because they've already qualified as hosts, they didn't have any competitive games to play. So, and I know friendlies don't count towards your FIFA ranking. That's why they've got the Nations League. So obviously, when they were playing the friendlies, they were dropping down the league. Denmark were 21st, but Germany, a little bit better stats there. 15 shots, 9 on target. But again, Denmark only getting 2 shots on target. And you're gonna be sick of me saying this by the end of this show, but that is just not good enough. But it wasn't an awful game. I'm going to come across a lot more awfuls. This, for me, was one of the better games. Germany, 20 touches in the opposition box. Denmark, 25. And that shows that both teams were committed to attacking. Yeah,
definitely. I think if you look at the second Germany goal as well, I think it was a very good finish from Musiala. It was great play to begin with him from obviously Havertz, and then Musiala just goes on amazing run and slots in the back of the net. Like I said it actually at the start of the tournament that I wouldn't be surprised if he's up for a young player of the tournament, maybe even player of the tournament. He's been that good as Jamal Musiala. But Germany, they are getting into a bit of a groove. but they haven't played anyone difficult yet. So
No.
their next game is a big, big test.
Good point. Good point. Now, on this game, I actually had, and I haven't got the goalkeeper stats there because you can just go on and on and on putting stats up. So I just wanted to stick to the main ones there. But for me, my man of the match in that game was Schmeichel. Not just because he's ex-Leicester. I thought he had an excellent game and he pulled off some worldly saves. BBC went for Rudiger. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I think that guy's one of the biggest cheats in football.
Mm.
No, you don't want to commit on that, do you? But I just think he goes down. If you were to walk past him in the street and burped, he'd fall over. I mean, that is how bad he is. I don't know why he gets the praise. Yeah, he's all right. He's not the best, but he's not the worst. I'll grant you that. But I do not know how he got man of the match in that game. I just think he's a big cheat. And for me, if Germany get knocked out, that's one I'd be very, very happy, and I'd be able to laugh at him.
Yeah. We know what he did at Chelsea. He was usually doing that for Chelsea. But look, I think, as I said, Germany haven't faced anyone difficult yet. Obviously, up until now. So it's going to be a real test of their character to see what they're all about.
Well done on avoiding the topic. You should be a politician of today of all days. Then we'll move on from that. That's just my opinion, but there we go. That was that game, and I was tempted to leave this one to the end, but I have done the games in order, so we have got to face this. There is a saying out there, and I can remember when the first time that Leicester City won the League Cup under Martin O'Neill. I think we won 3 games on the way to the final that year. All went to penalties, and we won. Obviously, we went on to win the cup, so we won all 3 games. And there is a saying that sometimes that your name is on the cup, and I'm just wondering, does that apply to England? Because we were the luckiest bastards going in this game.
Yeah, it was almost like you were literally minutes from going out, and it was your first shot on target as well, Bellingham's strike. Look, I've got to say, I thought Slovakia played very, very well. I've been impressed with them in this tournament. I think they've shown that they've got a bit of a goal scoring sort of prowess, and obviously Schranz as well. But look, I think Dubravka had a good game as well. Look, you left it till the very, very late. I think it looks like Southgate is sort of now reverting to a back 3, which is interesting, I've got to say. But I thought the couple of players I want to sort of pick out, I think losing Mark Guehi to suspension is very, very key. I think he's been absolutely. I actually think he's been your best player of the whole Euros. I'll put it out there. I think he has. I think as well, Kyle Walker. I know that a lot of people have put sort of Trent down sort of as a midfield as well, but Kyle Walker for me looks washed. He just doesn't look like the same player. What he was doing for the Slovakia goal, I don't know. He's literally he's ball watching. If he is actually, looking down the line, if he is ever further forward, then the Slovakian player will be offside and won't score. But Kyle Walker was so slow getting out that allowed Slovakia to score. And I keep saying it, you look so unbalanced on that left-hand side. So something has to give. Is he going to, he's obviously reverting to a back 3. So are you going to play with wing backs? Are you going to be playing, because for me, Phil Foden has to come out of that left wing position because he ain't a left winger. He ain't a left winger.
I mean, I've got to say, 100% agree with you on that. I've also got to say, well played, Slovakia. you were very unlucky not to go through. And I'm saying this, with an England shirt on. We rode our luck, and somebody up there was smiling on us in this game because we did not deserve that at all. What the hell Foden is doing on the left, God only knows. I mean, as I said, and I don't know if it was you or one of Craig or Mike. To me, the national team manager's job is the easiest job in management in any country, because that manager basically gets the pick of the best players. Yeah. He doesn't have to go and buy any, or he's got the pick of the best players. And I'm never going to buy into this rule. I used to buy into this, the fact that, we've got too many foreign players and all this. That was bollocks, But you've got the likes of the top scorer in the Bundesliga, the best player in Spanish La Liga, and they're playing awfully in most of the games that we've played. Excuse me. But whatever the England manager does, and forgive me if I've already said this to you because I'm sounding like an old record, but that England manager says, right, this is my preferred formation. This is how I like to play. You've given me the job. Even if it's 4-4-2, that is my preferred formation. That is how I am going to play. Then all you've got to do is start off with 2 players. I know it's 3 to some, but start with 2 players per position that play in that position for their club.
Yeah.
And then if you're picking a left wing back, and you should be able to pick 2 decent left wing backs at England's level. And to my mind, if you've got somebody that might be, say a grade A player, but your main left wing back is injured, so your second choice is only a grade B player, because it's his position, he'll still be better in that position than, I don't know if I'm losing you here, but than the other grade A player that you might put in. So it's easy, So why is it's square pegs in square holes? That's what it is. And for Phil Foden is a round peg trying to be put into a triangular hole by Southgate. It's the easiest. And yet you make an excellent point about Walker, and I think we are going to see a lot of changes. I think after this Euros, I think a lot of the sort of names, if you like, we will see no more. I think it's sort of the changing of the guard, and I think that will come with. I think because of the way Southgate, I think he likes to pick his favourites. Let's be honest with you: if he hadn't been injured, Maguire would have been there. Agree or not, but I think he would have been. And I think we need a new manager to come in with that changing of the guard. We were at 77 minutes. Kane had just missed a headed chance. We'd only made 1 substitution at that point. Now we're down to the last 13 minutes of the game. You've got 5 subs. All right, you get an extra 1 if you get into the obviously extra time. He'd made 1 sub, which was to take Trippier off, bring Palmer on, and put Saka at left back. I'm no Arsenal fan, but Saka's not a left back, is he?
No. No.
And
maybe
one of the most attacking, potent threats and sticking him in defence.
It was just baffling. Like when I saw that happen, I was like, "What on earth are you doing?" Putting Saka left back. Look, I know Saka's played left back before for Arsenal, but no, he's definitely right wing as well. I think Cole Palmer might be one of the changes to potentially come in. I thought he had a pretty good game when he came on as well. And I keep saying it. Gareth Southgate doesn't have the balls to drop Harry Kane.
No, you're 100% right there. He does not. Yes. Okay, like I say, he's the top goal scorer for the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
He's not performing after 4 games. And we're going to look at some more stats when we look ahead to the semis at the end. If he's not, he's got 1 goal, he should be getting more than that. This whole team, we've been going to say one of our strengths is our attackers. No, it's bloody not. I've seen today, though, that Ivan Toney's coming out and complaining about lack of game time. So maybe there's a bit of this things, non-happiness in the England camp. But, you know, where are we? 78 minutes, no shots on target. Slovakia were the 45th ranked team in the world. There we go.
Yeah.
And we hadn't had, after 78 minutes, we hadn't had a shot on target. We were going out without a whimper. To play the other way, though, Doug, to play it the other way, Southgate's a tactical genius because he saved all his subs for extra time.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose you could say it that way. But look, I think you're very, very fortunate you're still in all honesty. But Bellingham, he's a match winner.
Yes.
And it was a cracking goal. It was a cracking goal. You've got to say. And obviously you go into extra time, and then the best possible start. Eze plays a ball in, heads over time, and Tony heads it across, and Harry Kane ain't going to miss from 4 yards out.
No. I mean, but again, look at that. 38 touches in the box, 2 shots on target in 120 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I did a show the other day, and I have to say I have been a Southgate's not biggest supporter, but biggest defender. I can't defend him after this. His contract runs out in December. He's got to be gone then. He can't be renewed under any circumstances. Even if we win the damn thing, because if we win the damn thing, it'll almost be by default. 63% possession and doing absolutely nothing with it. It's a 5th best team in the world, and 2 shots on target. It was disgusting. What other notes have I got down here? There's actually there's 196 seconds between the 2 England goals, so that was they did come like buses. You wait for the proverbial 1 and 2 come along. But like you say, what a goal from Bellingham. Who else in that team could have done that? I don't think anybody.
No, I think he's kind of showing his prowess what he did at Real Madrid as well, in this season as well. He's just in the right place at the right time, and it was a fantastic finish as well. Looks like he's going to avoid a ban for that gesture he did. Wow. Yeah, it looks like he is. So that's a big boost. But yeah, you're going to have to play a hell of a lot better against Switzerland. Otherwise, it will be bye-bye.
Just touching on just touching Jude Bellingham's balls there, but just touching on that gesture. I mean, UEFA to even have come up with that, it's you have got, and the thing that has raised its ugly head in these last 16 games is the amount of plastic cups and bottles that are being thrown onto the pitch at corners. And I think I can't remember which game it was, but one of the guys, I may come down to it in my notes, got hit by a coin, I think it was, because it hurt his head as he was taking the corner. That's what FIFA should be concentrating on, not some. I mean, we're not. It's a man's. No, it's not a man's game, but it's a woman's game as well. But I mean, this is the 2 men playing football. He is young. He's 20 odd. He's 21. He's got mates. He wasn't even touching it. It was UEFA. You've got better things to bloody do than that.
Yeah. I think there's a Turkey player that's getting investigated as well. Ronaldo's getting investigated for a heart thing. Like, just UEFA. There's bigger things to worry about. There are bigger things to worry about. And yes, I do believe the guy you're talking about is Sabitzer for Austria.
Yes.
Yeah. He was the one that got struck by the coin as well. But UEFA just find crowd trouble to find rather than like silly gestures. Like, the thing is, you're not even allowed to celebrate with taking your shirt off as well. Are we going to start going into a football game where you just can't celebrate goals anymore?
Yes, it is, and it's part of the fun, isn't it? I mean, you've got to wait a few minutes until you celebrate anyway, 10 minutes if it's an English VAR, before you know when you can celebrate. But there's been some great goal celebrations over the year. Some of these games that is been more entertaining than the game itself. But we move on. Like you say, we are lucky, and maybe our name is on the cup, but maybe that is at the point. And I don't know how true this is, and it could be at my age, my memory playing silly beggars with me. But when we were in, I think it was the 80 or 82, one of those World Cups around then, Bobby Robson was manager. And we went through to the semi-finals. It was Italia, could have been Italia 90, actually. And we had a very bad start.
Yeah.
And then the players had a bit of a chat with him. Gary Lineker was in the side. And obviously we went on, things turned around and we got all the way to the semi-finals. And obviously ended up coming fourth. Maybe that will happen this time. Who knows? We will see. But we have got to improve vastly. Maybe that was the wake-up call that we needed, But next game, for me with this one, Doug, the scoreline doesn't really say much about the game. Georgia, fair play to Georgia. Look, Georgia, excuse me, got this damn cough. Spain are the 8th best team in the world. Georgia, 74th best team in the world. Georgia actually went ahead. And then Spain made hard work of getting back into this game. And yes, they ran ahead 4-1 winners in the end. That wasn't the story of the game, though, was it?
No, I've got to applaud Georgia. Their never say die attitudes. They didn't just defend. They went for the game. They attacked, and I think you've got to say Georgia have done their fans proud. They've done the whole country proud. They have been absolutely amazing. First tournament, and they get through the round of 16. It's great. It's great. And now obviously they can.
Depending how far Spain go, they'll always have Georgia on the mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Dun, 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 dun.
Sorry.
But I will say though, for me, I know that it might come back to bite me. For me, Spain are the favourites now.
Yes,
I think the way that they, got the first goal, and then obviously the second goal, and then I've got to say Nico Williams' strike is an absolute beauty into the top corner.
Yes, it was. Nobody's stopping that. Nobody's stopping that.
No, definitely not. I think as well, Nico Williams, Yamin Lamar was 16.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I think the only thing that really worries me with Spain is defensively. I don't think they're great. I know there's a Chelsea fan in the chat, but I do not rate Marc Cucurella at all. I rated him at Brighton. But honestly, I don't know what has happened to him since he's moved to Chelsea from Brighton, but I just don't think he's good enough. Carvajal's old, unfortunately. But yeah, look, I think going into this tournament, I think a lot of people maybe didn't really sort of underestimate Spain. But I think if you had probably picked winners potentially before the start of the tournament, don't think many people would have predicted Spain. And I think as well they've got youth, they've got experience, and I think Spain. I think they are now favourites for this this tournament.
Totally. I mean, I have to say, Spain. I thought they really did a job on Croatia in the first game. Excuse me, 3-0. But Croatia they made Croatia look particularly second rate. I will come on to obviously the Spain-Germany game in a bit, but yes, they were one of my favourites. Having watched the earlier games that I did, and I didn't watch them, all of, but yeah, I think they look the most likely now. The point I want to make, though, and I made this about Georgia, and I'll probably also make this about Slovenia as well, is that you've got the likes of the BBC and ITV being very PC and very correct and saying that these teams they've given it. Oh, they've played brilliantly. It's unfair that they've lost. Look, they've been plucky, but there's no way they would have won that game.
No, definitely not.
They did not have one shot on target. Now, I'm the guy that thinks that you should have maybe two groups for World Cups and Euros where you're just giving it to the minnows, if you like. So that group is made up of the Georgias, Slovenias, Gibraltar, San Marino, to give them a chance to get through to a tournament. So I'm brilliant, and well done to them for getting through. I know it was one of the best thirds, but still they did what they had to do. You know, the rules said they went through, and they went through. They weren't a mini Ajax, or a future Barcelona. They did what they had to do. That was like, a Rochdale going up against a Liverpool, for example, in the FA Cup, and, maybe coming away with a draw or holding out until the last minute and before Liverpool get a goal. They weren't that good, but they deserved where they got to, and well done to them. 24% possession, 4 shots, none on target, but they'll go away, 4 touches in the opposition box. But still fair play to them. But Spain, on the other hand, 35 shots. I mean, I think they had 17 in the first half, which I think they said was a new record for the Euros.
Yeah.
13 on target. I mean, 13 shots on target. That's more than one of the other previous teams had in the whole bloody game. 48 touches in the opposition box. And not just Spain. And it isn't just the likes of the Georgias and the Slovenias and all those teams. Finishing for all the teams have been so poor in this tournament. And I'm on about the Belgians. I'm on about, and we'll come on to them in a second, the French, the English, even the Spanish and what have you. It's awful finishing.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I don't think it's been a tournament of strikers. Let's put it that way.
No.
I think there has been a lot of goals from midfield, I've noticed, as well, and obviously, from wingers as well, and yeah, obviously own goals is definitely the top of that list.
Yeah.
I think Spain. Not many teams have got very good accuracy. Let's just put it that way.
Talking about own goals, and this was the game up until this point that I was looking forward to most in the tournament, and that was France facing Belgium. You've got the second best team according to FIFA. All right, I know you can argue about those three, but they are the graded behind Argentina, the second best team in the world, against Belgium, who are rated the third best team in the world. So you've got the second against the third. And whether it's a case of, when you get to the FA Cup final and it's the two favourites have got through to the final, and you think this is going to be the final from heaven. We're never going to see a better final, and it disappoints. Whether it was a game like that, I don't know. But I wrote down on one of these before. Did Germany deserve to go through? Yes. Were Denmark unlucky? Yes. On this game, did France or Belgium, or did France deserve to go through? Not particularly. Were Belgium unlucky? Not particularly. Neither team. They could have still been playing now, and it could have still been a 0-0. I mean, it was one of the worst games. And I'm going to say it's in my probably top 2 or 3 worst games of the whole tournament.
It was dire. I fell asleep. That's how bad it was. Look, I think if you put to me France and Belgium, look, I've got to say France really been underwhelming. I don't know about you, but this stat about them not scoring from open play,
yes.
Like most of their games have been led to own goals.
Yeah,
There's another one.
Competition. And 2 of those have been own goals.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I've got to say, Belgium, another disappointing tournament. They were really bad at the World Cup in Qatar. I think they've been just as bad here. as well. I know that I know they obviously beat Romania and obviously they drew with Ukraine, but they lost to Slovakia. And it's another tournament where De Bruyne, for loads of people who say, Kevin De Bruyne is a very, very good player for Manchester City, it comes into that category where I think there's a lot of players, and it's a bit like Phil Foden for England as well. I've never seen Phil Foden have a good game for England. I've never seen it. I've never seen a good game Kevin De Bruyne has had for Belgium. It's just the same thing. Lukaku is Lukaku, unfortunately.
Sorry, did I laugh out loud then? I do apologise.
I mean, he's had, what is it? He's had 2 goals ruled out for offside. He's had 1 ruled out for a VAR decision. Belgium just did not look like scoring against France. And I said last night, I said they were better, but far too little too late. I actually think, how on earth are Belgium 3rd ranked in the world rankings? I'll never know. Yeah. And look, I think a lot of their golden generation is now ebbing away. I think we're probably seeing the last of a De Bruyne. I think we're probably seeing the last of a Lukaku. I think they'll probably let the younger guard come in, and the old guard will probably retire. I mean, Jan Vertonghen, for goodness sake, he's 39 years old, and he's still playing as well. I know, obviously, we've always had Luka Modric as well, but Jan Vertonghen, you can kind of see that France goal coming in the end, but dreadful game of football. Not one to remember.
No.
Next.
No. Yeah, exactly. No Tielemans either. I say that with a bit of a wry smile, but there's no Tielemans in the start. So, it was absolute. I mean, I predicted 3-1. My God. Yeah, I must have been drunk. I predicted that at the start of the game. Jesus Christ almighty. A couple of things I've written down here. 2nd versus 3rd best teams. Belgium's first shot on target was on 70 minutes. I have never seen 2 teams go out to play for penalties after 5 minutes. But that was what I looked like I was watching, that both these teams wanted to go to penalties. And then I wrote down here, do these teams know they're in a knockout stage? Because it was like a group game, wasn't it? It's like they were like, well, if we draw this, we're both through. No, it's a knockout game. It doesn't work like that.
It was shockingly bad for a round of 16 game.
Yeah. Lukaku marked out of the game. I mean, he could still be playing now, Lukaku, and he wouldn't, I think Lukaku, really, I've worked out he must be, I can buy his love child. He's that awful. and Chelsea still want 30 million for him. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I think France still not scored from a play. One thing I do want to ask you is, I've written this down, and I might be being unfair here, but I have written down, Mbappe, is he all that? Because he has not impressed me at this tournament.
Well, before his penalty against Poland, he hadn't scored at Euros. He had a very good World Cup. We can definitely say that. I think the burden of being captain, I think, is saying a lot as well. I know Harry Kane is obviously England captain as well, and I think the burden is taken away from that. What have you? He did get injured against Holland. Was it Holland? No, Austria. Sorry, Austria. He got injured against. Didn't play against Holland. Then he came back for obviously the Poland game. He's not been great. He's been average at best, I would say.
Yeah. Right. We're going to move on to the team I think you do as well, but that I hate probably more than any other European team. And to say that Scotland and France are included in that says a hell of a lot. And I hate them mainly because of Ronaldo and Fernandes. 2 absolutely cheap players that I do not like. I think when the highlight for this whole tournament for me was Ronaldo with his thumb in his mouth, crying like a little baby when he missed the penalty. And I will qualify that by saying, as much as I hate him, I have total respect for the guy, having been through that, to then go, yeah, I will take the first penalty in a penalty shootout and score it. Well, I have respect for him like that, but my God, was I pissing myself laughing when he was crying after he missed that penalty.
It was one of those moments where you saw the penalty given, and yes, I think in the end, I think it was a penalty. And I think a lot of people saw this is the chance for Ronaldo. But I think, and then sort of there comes the stat that Black had saved the penalty from Lionel Messi. He'd obviously saved the penalty from Cristiano Ronaldo in the Champions League final. As all he did it again. Like, I've got to say, I think England's result against Slovenia is much better than many people would say now, because Slovenia holding Portugal to penalties is absolutely amazing. Had Seshko taken that chance as well, 1-on-1 with Costa, then Slovenia would have beaten Portugal. Just wasn't to be. But
how did he miss that? And I come back to my excuse me. Attacking is so bad in this competition because it's been that final third pass or that final pass to that they're making the wrong decisions. And if you're talking about these are supposed to be the best players from each of these countries, they shouldn't be making the wrong decisions in those moments.
No, definitely not. I've got to say, I watched Portugal now at most of these games, and how people think that they're potentially going to be going on to win this.
No,
I don't think they got a hope. I honestly don't think they've got a hope. And I think as well they were just another dire game of football. But fair play to Slovenia, defended very, very astutely, and unfortunately they had to miss out in the end. But what did you make of the BBC putting up? I can't remember what it was, Cristiano Ronaldo or something.
Oh, I don't know about this.
Yeah, it was at the interval. It was when he missed the penalty. There was like a BBC graphic that came up, and it was I think it was something like Cristiano Ronaldo, which I've seen a lot of people say it was very, very disrespectful to Cristiano Ronaldo. But look, the guy has done amazing things for his country, and believe it or not, he is the only player currently who actually played at Euro 2004 who's still playing.
Wow. Maybe that says more about the lack of talent in Portugal than it does about his ability. He is playing, as Craig always points out, he is playing in a league that he's up against. He's a Premier League player in a League Two league. I didn't see that missed penalty, Ronaldo. To be quite honest, he's disrespectful. Get lost. He deserves it. This is the guy who got Wayne Rooney sent off and winked at the camera. So he doesn't deserve any respect for that. Putting that up, I'm sorry. So what? He's a bloody grown man. He's missed a penalty. He's crying like a 5-year-old child. Like I say, respect the fact that when it came to the penalties, he had the balls to stand up and take one and put it away as well. But that's his job. That's what he's paid vast amounts of money for. Portugal, to be honest with you, were awful. Again, in that final third, I was watching it, and you know what? They never went below 60% possession all game.
Yeah.
Not at any point did they have less than that. At one point, I think in about the first 15 minutes, I think it was like 80% possession to them, 82% possession. But again, only 6 shots on target. They had 38 touches. Let me just bring that up. 38 touches in Slovenia's half, but only 6 of those were shots on target. I mean, come on. I've got to say, yes, first of all, I agree with you. Everybody that was saying, like, England struggled against Slovenia, no more than Portugal did.
Yeah.
No more than Portugal. So, yes, I think it does make that England game look better. Is that, Doug, and you've seen a few like I have, my chair goes back. It's never done that before. Oh, no, whenever I've done that before, it's always not refused to go back. It's suddenly gone back. Oh, there we go. That's comfy. I'm glad I didn't know that during the France-Belgium game, or like you, I'd have fallen asleep. Is that the worst penalty shootout you have seen?
Yeah, I think in terms of
there, hasn't it?
I think in terms of like going to get to penalties and then fluffing all three, it's very, very disappointing as a Slovenia perspective. But Portugal scraped through. They do have good penalty kick takers. I think fair play to Ronaldo. He obviously missed a penalty and then took the first one. As well. I don't like Portugal. I'll be honest. I know that we've got a Portuguese player in our team, but I don't like Portugal. I don't like Martinez. I think he's very, very lucky to be getting a post as Portugal manager when he failed miserably as Belgium manager.
Yes. No, I agree. I don't like Fernandes either. I think he's a whiny little so-and-so.
Don't get me started on Bruno Fernandes. Do not get me started.
We agree on that one. On that one. Got to say though, fair play to the Portuguese goalkeeper. I mean, none of them were sort of. They're all good penalties for a goalkeeper to save. Right height, not much power, but they're still to be saved. He read them well, and he went for it. So I've got to say, fair play to him for making I think he's the first player to save 3 penalties in a shootout at the Euros.
I believe so. Yeah.
So well played to him for that. Right now, the last day weren't too bad. I am going to stick my neck out here because I've already gone out and said, for me, Spain, I think, are ones that are gonna win it. I think they're the best teams at the competition. A team. Obviously, the next game up is going to be Romania versus Netherlands, and I have to say this very quiet because my neighbour's Romanian, and I like him, and he brings me beers and food round when they're celebrated. So don't upset him too much. Netherlands are doing for me what Germany normally do, and that is not start very well, but they're suddenly getting into it. They've got through. I mean, to say that the Netherlands got through as one of the 3rd best placed teams, wow. I can't believe I'm saying that about.
Yeah.
You think you'd be saying it about Romania, but no, you're talking about Netherlands, and yet they did enough in this game. Well, they absolutely demolished Romania, didn't they?
Yeah, I think many people probably expected maybe a closer affair in this one, but no, I think after about 12 minutes, I think the game was about done. I think it was a statement result for Holland, and good old Cody Gakpo, who seems to be scoring for fun at the moment for his national team.
Yes. I mean, I've got. I mean, we can see. Look. I mean, Netherlands are in black, 65% possession virtually. Romania, actually, in fairness, are only 47th ranked in the world. Netherlands are 7th. So, on paper, this is one of the few games that has gone according to the rankings. In as much as look at the dominance that the Netherlands have there. I mean, I've got here. I mean, Depay for Memphis Depay, what a game he had. And Simone for me was man of the match. I don't know whether you would agree with that. I thought they were 2-star players, but Simone was all over the place. When that goal went in after 20 odd minutes, I think the goalkeeper could have done better with it. But that almost like lifted a huge weight off the Dutch shoulders, and they were just in control of that game from that point onwards.
As I said, statement result. I think they've not been great at this tournament so far, but I think that game was a very, very good result for them. And they'll take some beating. They'll definitely take some beating. I think you're absolutely right about Memphis Depay. I think he had a fantastic game of football. Obviously, Daniel Malin, who obviously I think he started on the bench and then obviously comes on and scores twice, which is good to see.
I mean, I've written down here on 89 minutes, I put, nearly a third. And then on 92 minutes, it is a third. So maybe 3-0's been a little bit unfair because they were going through it well. I mean, Romania didn't give up. Let's just say that. Yes, they only had one shot on target. They only had 5 shots all game. But if you take that out of the play, and I know you can't because it's one of the main parts of the games, but they were going for it. They didn't give up. They were towards the end. Yes, they didn't have that nous to just break Holland down or and get into and make use of their attempts, but they looked dangerous on the counter attack. And like I say, it was almost like it was a 0-0 game with sort of 15, 20 minutes to go because Romania was still going for it.
Well, obviously, and this is something for your Romanian neighbour to hear. I've been very impressed with Romania. I think a lot of people said at the start that I think many people maybe had Romania to maybe finish bottom of the of their group. Look, I think they've done very, very well. Again, they had a statement result in beating Ukraine 3-0. Again, don't think anyone saw that coming. As well, they've been a credit to their fans as well. But unfortunately, they just met a really rampant Dutch side, and it was just a little step too far, unfortunately. But they'll be back. They'll certainly be back, and good luck to them.
You actually had them finishing bottom of their group, Romania.
Yeah, I know it does.
I don't want to rub it in at all. I wasn't much better than you. I had them finishing third. So neither of us expected Romania to do well. I've put here, the Dutch hugely impressed me. They say they've improved as the tournament's gone on, which is what you want to do with tournament football. Demons, like I say, for me was man of the match. I thought he played well with Depay literally just behind him. And the interesting thing was with Romania going out, nobody from Group E has made it into the quarters.
Yeah.
They are all out. A minor bit of knowledge, but it makes me happy to read these things. But there we go. Austria versus Turkey. Wow. Okay, this was the last game, and I have to say, what a bloody good game it was to me. Excuse me, for me. Sorry, this was you've got the two. If you take the ratings as an overall rating, Austria 25th. Turkey 42nd. So you would expect this to be probably one of the least exciting games, but to me, this was the best round of 16 game.
It was amazing football. Obviously, it helped with Turkey to take the lead after 65 seconds.
What a goalkeeping error, though.
Oh yeah, massively. I've got to say as well, though, I think Austria played very, very well themselves. That they kept attacking, Turkey kept attacking. It was literally basically you attack, we attack, and none of us wanted to defend. No.
It was.
I think that was end to end. Yeah, I think Austria lived up to their dark horses tag as well, and I think Turkey got their goalkeeper to thank because what a save at the end.
I mean, I was out of my chair. I thought that, and I thought, because if that had gone in, that would have made it 2-2, obviously, and would have gone into extra time. And I would actually have loved extra time. I'd have loved 30 more minutes of this game, rather than
I would have as well.
With Portugal. What a save. I mean, they talk about the bank save against Brazil. And I know you're too young, and technically even I'm too young to remember it live. But we've all seen pictures, we've all seen the videos, and it is one of the greatest saves ever. This was got to be up there with it, hasn't it?
The fact that Baumgartner has headed it down, it's a really wet pitch. the ball's travelling. You know, the keeper's kind of gone to his left, so he's obviously seen like the ball go, and he's just clawed it right hand. It was a magnificent save.
Yes.
Save of the tournament for me, definitely.
Yes. Yes, that's what I have written exactly the same down here. Save of the competition so far. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I think, Turkey. A lot of people said that back in sort of 2021 they were sort of the dark horses for that tournament. I think they've probably taken that with a pinch of salt, and obviously a lot of people again. I don't think many people would probably predicted Turkey to get through a group with Portugal, but they did, and
Yeah.
they've been magnificent. I've got to say, Arda Güler is one player I've watched in this Turkey side, and he looks a real special player.
I did put here at 2-0 down that it was a good night Vienna.
Oh, hey, well, at least Turkey didn't get stuffed.
Hey, come back there. And I'm very disappointed you didn't make your joke about the Swiss flag when we were talking about the Swiss earlier. But I mean, that save was, I mean, it was a match-winning save, and the thing, and it was because it was the 94th minute. I mean, you know, if he hadn't been tuned in, because then had that gone in, like I say, it would have gone off to extra time. It was very easy to switch off. I know the professionals, they shouldn't. But in the 94th minute, it was a counter-attack. And you're thinking like, yeah, you would have understood it probably. Yeah, definitely save of the tournament. For me, match of the round. If not, I'm going to go as far as probably saying for excitement, not for goals, because we've seen, you know, games with a lot more goals in. But for excitement, probably for me, personally, the best game of the tournament.
You could probably put one of Turkey's games in there. Turkey Georgia was very special as well. I've got to say, Turkey have grown into this tournament.
So was that the one with about 54 cards?
No. That was Turkey Czech Republic.
I know, that was it. I knew Turkey were involved somehow.
Yeah.
I'd fair play to Turkey. Like I say, I loved that game. And that, for me, watching that game was when I actually thought, yeah, I'm into this competition now. I'm excited, you know. And, yeah, you know, we are talking, like I say, the 25th versus the 42nd ranked teams in the world. And it's taken them, for me, to get me excited into this competition. But fair play to them all. It's an absolutely a fantastic thing. And I have to say, I'm going to say this, Anna Hart, well done, Ralph Ragnick.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's definitely shoved a lot of mince pies down people's throats, and you know, I think people have got a lot to say about Ragnick, but actually, when a manager suits a team like Austria does, and I think Ragnick has done a magnificent job, and I think you'll probably see Austria maybe at the next World Cup.
Yes, I mean he turned down Bayern Munich, didn't he, to stay with Austria? So absolutely fair play to him. And I think was he playing 4-4-2, or am I making that? I might be making that up actually, but it does make you wonder sometimes. You know, had maybe a certain club stuck with him, who knows how they might be doing. Although I do, just a sidetrack, I do see today that Ten Hag has signed an extension. I would have loved Ten Hag to have turned around and said, "Fuck off, I'm going off," because I think he's been treated disgustingly. I really do, and that's as a non-Man United fan. But we're into the semis. Let's get predicting then, shall we? And I don't want to get too excited about this game, because I know if I do, I'm going to get let down. But we are starting with what should be in the operative word here, the quarter-final. Spain 8th against Germany 16th, but we know that's a false place for Germany. They've both finished top of the group. Neither of them have lost a game yet. 9 goals for Spain, 10 for Germany. Oh, sorry, Doug, we know 5 of those were against one team. 1 goal conceded, 2 for Germany. Between them, when they played each other, Spain have won 8, Germany have won 9. Go on, what's your prediction for this?
Well, I'm going to throw another stat in here.
Go on, throw one at me.
In 14 tournaments that Spain have played host countries, they've never won a game. They've never beaten the host nation. No.
Wow, I did not know that. You've taken my stats and you've just blown them out the water. That is a battleships moment. That is. Good God, that is an amazing stat.
But I have a feeling that whoever wins this game, I think goes on to win the tournament.
Agreed.
I'm going to go Spain 2-1.
Spain 2-1. I am not going to predict scores because I went for 3-1 between France and Belgium, and look how wrong I was. I do agree with you with Spain 100%, and I do agree with you both that Spain will win the tournament. So yeah, we agree on that, which is a bit worrying because we agreed a lot last time as well. Next up, Portugal versus France. I mean, if there's a God in the world, Portugal would be playing Germany and France would be playing Spain. But one of these two teams has got to get through. As you can see, the rankings there. France only finished second in their group with the same history as England in their group. 3 goals scored, which is awful. Like you say, none from open play. Portugal there have actually lost the game, but look, they made so many changes, and you can see there France have definitely got more on the winning between the two teams. This is a difficult one to call, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I think if this goes to penalties, I'd probably say Portugal probably go through. Right. Because they've got a knack of winning penalty shootouts. But actually, I mean, this is Martinez versus Deschamps. I mean, if there was a mismatch in managers, I think these two would definitely bite the biscuit with these two. I really think that France have a knack of just getting through. They just have a knack of getting through games, and I'm going to back France. I think France will go through.
It's a good point that you make about penalties. Excuse me. Please God that this doesn't go to penalties, because if this goes to penalties, it means that we've had an extra 30 minutes of what I think will be a boring game. I think it'll be very tight. Again, Doug, I've agreed with you. I have gone for France to sneak it for me. Although I must admit, like you, I hate Portugal, so there's a little bit of that involved for me as well. Now then, England against Switzerland. Which way you can see there, we finished first, they finished second, 5th against 19th. Neither team have lost. We've got the same, both won 2, drawn 2. We're not prolific with the goals, but we have won 18 of our last meetings together. Any hope for England here?
You've got to play a hell of it.
If you go for Switzerland, I'm not going to blame you.
I've got to say, I think this might be the game you go home. I just think Switzerland have got a little bit more. I actually think this goes to extra time. I think it goes to extra time, and then I think Switzerland either win it on penalties or after extra time. So, yeah, I think you might get Swiss rolled in this round. I'm going to go Switzerland.
It won't be It's Coming Home. It'll be The Sound of Music if the Hills Are Alive. I am actually going to have to disagree with you here, because I do think that after the luck that we had in getting through last game, I think this is the game where they have a clearing of the air. The players and the management get together. They have a talk. If Bellingham wasn't in there, if he'd been banned, I think we could be looking at something different. He is the potential match winner for us. He's the best player we've got. It's going to be tight again. There is a little bit of that name on the cup thing as well. Yeah, I think I've got us just going through, but it won't be easy. It won't be easy. As much as it looks easy on paper, I don't think it is. Here we go. Netherlands versus Turkey, 7th versus 42. There's the stats, mate.
Yeah, I look, as much as I've really enjoyed Turkey playing, I just think this is where I think that 3-0 victory for the Dutch against Romania was a statement result. I actually think there'll be goals in this. I can see Turkey grabbing a couple, but I don't think they're good enough to keep the Dutch out, unfortunately. So I'm going to go with the Dutch to go through.
The Dutch to go through. You think the Dutch are going to gobble them up, do you?
Yes, I do.
You do. Sorry, that was awful. Really, really sorry. I agree with you, though. I was very impressed by the Dutch, and I think they are coming good.
Yeah.
And although, I mean, that if it does work out like that, obviously we play the Dutch in the semis. And I think everybody would say, well, what an easy half we've got. What an easy half we've got. I don't fancy playing the Dutch. And we don't recommend anybody gambling, but these were the odds as of Sky Bet today. Remember, and we have to say this every time. I actually got an email once off Gamble Aware. I do have to mention this. When the fun stops, stop. And as you can see, there's a website there, Gamble Aware. England somehow 4-1 joint favourites with Spain. France, I said, yeah, I can believe it. France and Germany both 9-2. The Dutch 7-1. Portugal 9-1, the Swiss 12, and the Turks 33. And then you're looking at potential semi-finals. There they are. I think it will be a Spanish. Well, from what I've said here, a Spanish French final with Spain, semi-final with Spain going on to the final. I think it will be a Dutch-English semi-final. I think the Dutch will go through. I think that was where we will end it at the semis. Do you see any different? I know you've already said Switzerland that, but do you? So to me, it is going to be a Spain-Dutch final.
Yeah, I've had a feeling for a long time. I think it might be the Spanish and the Dutch in the final. That would be a repeat of the 2010 World Cup final as well.
Yes, it wasn't a bit. Was that the one where it wasn't particularly a very? It wasn't really played with the best feeling between the two teams. That
was the game where English ref Howard Webb missed a certain red card because Nigel Dion decided to kung fu kick Xabi Alonso in the chest.
Yes. That was before VAR. We still weren't doing well. Well, let's see how our predictions go. Doug, thank you so very much, young man. I know you've got
Pleasure.
a little bad to put away. I hope him and Rebecca are both well. Give everybody a shout out as to where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at the Dugout Football channel on YouTube. And you can find me here, there, and everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, X. I'll call it Twitter because X. Nah, I don't like X. TikTok and Twitch. There you go.
Brilliant. Nate, thank you so very, very much. Have a good evening. I hope you're able to get Nathan down very easily and then have a nice, relaxing night to watch the general election.
Well, enjoy the quarterfinals. Enjoy the quarterfinals.
Will do indeed, mate. All the best then. Thanks very much and take care.
See you later. Bye-bye.
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 Thanks to Doug there. Be sure to get over and give his channel a follow and a subscribe. A good friend to the channel. Thank you so very, very much. So that's it. That is our predictions. Our review, first of all, for the last 16 and our predictions for the semis and the quarters and then the semis and then the final. We put everything in there all together, didn't we? So thank you very much. Take care, guys. We're going to be back tomorrow at 10 to 5. We're going to be covering both semis tomorrow and then obviously both semis, including the England game on Saturday. Have a good evening. If you haven't voted yet, you've still got time to. If you want change, go and vote for it. I will see you all on the radio tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock, surreyhillsradio.co.uk. Sorry, it's 7 o'clock, 7 till 10 with the breakfast show. And then I will be back Friday at night, which is tomorrow night, for both of the semi-finals. Take care. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.